Hi.
Hey, honey, I literally have had meeting after meeting after meeting. I was like, okay, I need to take 5 minutes to go pee.
And rightly so. Is there anything particular you want to talk about?
No, it's just a chat and introducing yourself to the network. It's quite casual. It's not, nothing like too crazy. We'll just say, and I'm also going to say I had a pleasure of meeting you in the summertime and also to go look at the videos and we'll talk about what you do, how you got into it, and then also how people can reach you.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna just set it up on live.
And I'm gonna just plug my coaching and new red flag workshop.
Cool. Awesome. And then I'll send we should probably schedule a link later on to go through a little bit more about my program that's launching as well because we're ready to start registering all the businesses. And
Oh,
there's
awesome.
also extra perks because we have the AI voice agents for like answering questions for your clients and booking your appointments. We have AI assistants that work directly with you. And then we also have the Facebook and Instagram marketing now. So it's
Oh, okay,
all,
cool.
yeah, it's really cool. So let me just set up the live stream. Give me 5 minutes.
So, when are you gonna go live?
Well, like they're building the affiliate program, so probably like 30 days.
Yeah, okay, awesome. I was gonna say like the new year would be great.
Yeah, I think, right now I'm just bringing in the last wave of founder businesses in, and then we're going to be opening it up to the public. But I had a 2-hour compensation plan meeting yesterday because the original plan was only making money enrolling businesses and then sending them clients. Now we have all the marketing tools that you can also make money inviting other businesses to use the tools. So the compensation plan just got enhanced like 10 times over. It's amazing.
Yeah, great. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay,
For
let me just set
you.
up the live here.
I always love watching you plug in because I'm like, you plug in. You love this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Ask an expert Friday with.
Is my background okay?
Yeah, I love the plants. I have like I'm a plant person. And your company's called the Mother Corp, right?
Yeah. It's a trauma-informed coaching and consulting. I love the gold tooth. I'm a little jealous.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna share it on my own timeline and then we will share it in the group once we go live.
So it's going to be live, right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
The more people that see it, the better.
Where are you putting it live?
It's on my Facebook and I'm gonna share it into the group in just a minute where it's just preparing the live stream.
Okay. I just get to press okay. All right. I'm ready when you are. And
Okay, we're
do you
going
want
live.
me
Give me one sec.
awesome. Here we
I
go.
just want to hit record. Recording. Okay. Let me just make sure we are live. Give me a moment. We have a special guest speaker today. I don't want anybody to miss this. Okay, we are going live in the group as well. Awesome. Well, it's Ask an Expert Friday. I'm super excited to be here. We have an amazing guest speaker that is coming on. She is going to share everything about her business. I actually had a pleasure to meet Chavisa this summer and actually went down to her place. We went for an amazing walk on the beach. So inside of our Facebook group, if you search her name, you'll actually see our previous video that we did as well. And she was at the women's show this weekend as well. And she had an amazing booth there. So I want to first of all say thank you for doing this Ask an Expert Friday. We love, meeting people like yourself that work with clients and help them relieve their trauma, their stress, the things that they've gone on that's happened in their life. And also move forward. The one thing that I know from my dealing with my own past traumas is You know, you don't know what you're holding on to inside until you actually release it, until you actually, get clear and you're able to move forward. And I work on myself all the time as well. So I have a lot of work that I do on a continuous basis to become the person that I am today. But I mean, it's a never-ending story. So, Shavisa, please introduce yourself, your business, how you got started into this industry, and then we'll just take it from there.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. And thanks for having me, Callie. It's so lovely to talk to you. So, I'm Chavisa Hormans. I am a trauma informed coach and consultant. I work as a trauma informed empowerment coach for women, especially going through major life transitions. Sometimes we get way too much on our plates, and it results in feeling overwhelmed, depleted, and exhausted. And that's not okay. So, I created the Mother Corp, my trauma informed coaching and consulting service, so that more women have effective, responsive, personalized, confidential support exactly where they are. And so I work virtually so I can work with you anywhere you are. And so I work with women who are going through relationship troubles, safety issues, separation, divorce, the transition to becoming a mom, parenting, and the transition to co parenting, and chronic health issues. And I do all of this because this is, for some of us, the complexity of our lives. And it's way easier to get a one-stop support in one place than to have to go in these kind of siloed spaces and get help for each little aspect distinctly. I
Right.
specialize in high conflict disputes. I specialize in supporting women through really hard, bad divorces that are usually long and extended. That often looks like gender based violence, hidden abuse, financial abuse, post separation abuse. And so my aim is to give women support, effective support, resources, and the love and care that they need so that they can move forward with whatever they're dealing with, and that they can get to a space where they can rest and then rebuild their lives, because we don't want to stay in complications and hardship too long. We want to get through whatever crap we're dealing with and then rest, recuperate, and build lives that are going to be beautiful and thrive.
I love that. And so, what led you down this path? Let's talk a little bit about that. How
Well,
did you get
after I
into the
finished,
industry? Yeah.
yeah, so I finished my master's degree and graduate diploma, and then I got married and I had my kiddo, and then I left my partner, and that was a good decision. And then I started experiencing acute gender-based violence and post-separation abuse, and that was a horrific period of time. And in that period of time, I used all my professional skills to improve my safety and wellness. And what became really apparent to me is that there's not enough support for women when they're going through an enormously hard time. And so after that, I was like, I'm going to be doing that for other women. I don't want anybody to have the experience I had. So I'm really good at problem solving, really good at strategic navigation. I get the minutia and nuances of this terrain of hardship and how to strategically navigate to safety and wellness.
And
And so I became a certified divorce coach, as recognized by the American Bar Association as a dispute resolution practitioner. And of course, I work with folks who are going through trauma. So they've either had trauma or they're living with trauma. And so I'm certified in holistic trauma recovery. And
awesome.
I
Well,
love working with women.
and I wanted to say, number one, going through what you had to go through and then giving yourself to other people to help them heal, that in itself is an amazing feat. And I wanted to say thank you for being who you are in the world and the stand that you take for women and humanity, because a lot of people don't know. They may be living with that trauma right now. They may be currently still in that relationship, but they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know that there's people like you that are available to help them, that have lived through something similar and is actually educated enough to work with them to help them where they need it. And it's I love meeting people like yourself, because you know you didn't say stuck where you were. You overcame what you went through and you rose up. And that is, you know, I have goosebumps because not everybody can get to that place where they've gone through and able to deal with all of their past experiences in order to serve somebody else, you know? So thank you for who you are. Thank you for the stand that you take for women in the world. Do you have any maybe like a testimonial, or obviously you don't have to say people's name, but something that you helped one of your clients overcome that you'd want to share?
I have lots of testimonials and they're on my website. And it's kind of like the beauty of receiving beautiful, reflective words. And like I receive testimonials that make me cry because they demonstrate to me that I'm doing exactly what I set out to do, which was to alleviate hardship, and that women are getting a really effective, loving support, and it makes a substantive difference. Because the thing with, especially around divorce and trauma, is that it can feel like you don't know the roadmap, you don't know the terrain, and you don't know how to figure out confidently which direction to go.
Right.
But I'm trained in this area, as a certified divorce coach, and I've also have my lived experience of it. So the thing is, I can tell people like, hey, there's a bump here, there's a hole here. Don't fall in this hole. This is where everybody falls in the hole. Don't fall in the hole. All right, you're about to hit a little mountain here. So we're going to get you some water and you're going to take this path because it's going to be easier.
Right.
So it's like to have that like insider navigator makes it so much easier. And also it produces so much relief for the person going through because they're like, oh, yeah, that's what I was told about. I knew that was coming. It's not as scary when you know what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, I have some friends that are dealing with some pretty traumatic breakups and experiences and abuse and things like that. And it's not easy when things like that happen, you feel more alone than you did when you were in your relationship. Honestly, it could be, something that could literally make you or break you at that moment when you're in fear, you're flighting for your life or whatever the thing that you're dealing with. The decision that you make could effectively change your future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an incredible business to be in, and I am grateful that we connected because we don't have anybody with your specific skill set inside of our network yet. And so I was so grateful running into you again at the women's show because I said, yo, we got to do an interview for you. I know we did a little quick one while we were at the beach, but now's the time to open the network up to showcase who you are and what you do. So do you have anything else that you'd like to say to any of our members that may be watching this, that may want to reach out to you, or how the process works, anything like that you'd like to share?
Sure. Oh, thanks. So, yeah, offer a free consultation call because I want to make sure that I can effectively help the people who come to me. So, if I can't help you, I'll give you resources, but I don't want to make use of misuse anybody's time. Like, I want to make sure that I can confidently get you into a better position. So that's number one is the free consultation. My business is the Mother Corp, and you're welcome to check out my website, which is .com. And I have pages specific to divorce coaching, specific to co-parenting coaching, and specific to chronic health coaching. And I do all my work really tailored. So whatever you show up with is what will really what she wants is accountability coaching. She
Right.
wants to rebuild her life, and she wants so together we're and then between sessions she's got a few functional viable tasks, and then she is able to come back to the next session and say, yeah, I got that done, and so we can get her moving forward because that's exactly, we don't want people to stay stuck in terrible situations. And then the other thing is, if people are interested, is that it's like how to not become my client, right? So how to not get yourself into a terrible situation where you need a divorce coach or you need somebody who understands gender-based violence. And so what I did is I started a workshop on identifying red flags. And so this is for people across all age groups who are starting to date. So that could be young people, that could be learning or starting to date again after a relationship or after a separation or divorce. And it's about identifying red flags early on because is grounded science and research on what the predictive indicators of an abusive person are. And
Mm.
so if you know what those are, you can like, on date two, be like, see ya.
Yeah.
As opposed
Red
to,
flag, red
yeah,
flag.
yeah, as opposed to spend 10 years in an experience like that.
Mhm.
So I love teaching people about red flags so that they can safeguard themselves. It's like a 2-hour course I hold on the first Monday of every month, and it's super affordable. And really, it's just again a benevolent act to just help people improve their safety and wellness. So if that resonates, feel free to check out my red flags. It's on my website, the Mother Corp.
Awesome. And so, what's two pieces of advice that you could give to somebody that is going through a relationship that maybe they are starting to see some of these signs?
Look for consistency. Look for this is part of what I teach in the identifying red flags workshop is that we all have personality flaws. We all have bad behaviors, but it's really about how frequently they're occurring. Is my bad behavior happening once every 2 years, or is it happening every weekend? Like, that's a big difference. So pay attention to the frequency of problematic behaviors and watch for triangulation of problematic behaviors. But in the workshop, I lay out exactly which specific behaviors you should watch out for that are really problematic and people should be aware of in terms of helping safeguard themselves. And then, so in terms of dating, may I?
Yeah.
My advice is marry a friend because it's not always going to be hot sex. Like at the end of the day, you need a good friend.
Ah,
and um, and also trust your gut. Like listen to your intuition. We're pulling up way more information than we um, allow in Western society on our logical brain. And we're pulling up a ton of information and your body is giving you signals. Like we live in a body that's wired to be taking in information at all times.
yeah.
And so
Ladies,
always
listen
go,
to your gut. It's
yeah,
usually right.
yeah. And I do a lot of somatics with my clients so that they're grounded and regulated. So I'm doing a ton of stuff around neurobiology and somatics so that we get the body grounded. And really, it is about listen to your gut because there's a ton of information there.
Yeah, I mean, I've avoided some serious red flags because of listening to my gut. So I'm grateful for it, for that intuition that we have, that we're, wired to see or feel the signs that something doesn't feel right. And it's sometimes it's very difficult when you're so caught up in the drama and the trauma that you don't listen to your gut. And, usually the majority of the time it is right. So I really love that you touched on that point because it's so important. And, this goes to anyone that, that is watching this. I mean, feel free to please reach out to Chavisa, book a consultation call with her. See if this is something that will benefit you working alongside of her. It's very important that we have amazing people like her in our network that are available for you. I mean, we are beauty and wellness, but there's a lot of things that go along side and side with being in the beauty or wellness industry. I mean, this is part of your healing journey. Dealing with
So,
your
and
past. Yeah,
may I jump in on there?
sure.
Um, you know, the beauty industry and beauty professionals are like, it's a really interesting space because you're touching people's bodies, like touching their hair, touching their bodies. It's very intimate. And so, what it does is it kind of breaks down a boundary. And so, people tend to share or even overshare with their beauty professionals. And I've been doing a lot of research on this. And I do special work, particularly for beauty professionals, because the thing is, if the client in front of you is having a hard time and
Mhm.
you don't feel able to attend to them, then part of what I do in terms of my professional workshops, which are trauma informed workshops, is I train beauty professionals on how to do holistic trauma recovery. And it's a double win because when you learn these skills, you can use them for yourself and your family and your kids, your family, your community, but you can also use them for your clients in the chair. And so if the person in front of you is having a really hard time, then you have skills that you can support them to stay grounded and regulated.
Right.
And so the win is when they're grounded and regulated, or they're more grounded and regulated, what happens is then you're having less exposure to people having high stress or trauma. And
Right.
so it's a double win. You're serving the person in front of you, but you're also safeguarding yourself. So I love teaching beauty professionals that area. So if ever
Right.
people are interested in that, it's on my website. I have a whole section on professionals, and there's a specific page for beauty for professionals.
That's really cool. Yeah, because like we don't really realize that when people are working on clients, whether in the beauty or wellness industry, we're actually absorbing their energy too, you know? So it's very important that you have that safeguard or that you know how to handle those situations if somebody is coming to you, if you're even just doing their hair, but you know, they're dealing with something and they share, how do you handle that? While they're in your chair. So I love that. I really love that because it's so important. I mean, there's lately for myself, I've noticed that after having conversations with different people, I'm actually feel more exhausted. I feel like the energy's been sucked out of me. So, and it's not a negative thing, but it's, you know, you have to realize that every conversation you're having, you're also absorbing that as well in it with like while you're talking to them. Like if like when I was dealing with my injury, I had over 1,000 people reach out to me that were sick, and you know, I want to help each and every one of them, but there's only so much that I can do without them taking action, and making sure that they connect with the right practitioners and different things like that. But again, you know, it made me almost go into a depression because I was hearing about everybody else and their health issues. You know, I feel like I actually got more sick, if that's a possibility. I felt like, um, I felt like that I was absorbing what they were dealing with. I don't know if that makes sense.
So, well, you raised a number of aspects. I think the thing is, it's like we need to have fundamental self-care. Like we need to know how to look after ourselves, right? Like some conversations are heavy, but then if we can like build in practices or rituals or techniques to look
Right.
after ourselves so we safeguard, like I do a very particular practice after each of my clients, whether or not it's heavy, because it's just a safeguard for me and a time for me to recalibrate. But also, we do really well when we do like regular practices that safeguard ourselves because it just reinforces our relationship with ourselves.
Right.
So I teach a lot of that aspect, but I do think, like we are relational creatures,
Right.
we are built for relationship. And so when you're talking about something difficult, then and other people come and disclose to you, then if you can see that there's like insufficiency in the system, it can be, have its own weight, right? Like I
Right.
work with a lot of people who are dealing with system failure.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And it's a different it's an interesting topic because a lot of people may not even realize that, you know, like I think my nail girl knows my whole life. Like every time I get my nails done, I got a new story to tell her or something to share with her. And, you know, she's an amazing human being, and you know, she actually understands the difficulties of being an entrepreneur. So I can speak freely and have those conversations. But I mean, I know in the past, like having my hairdresser, if I'm having a bad day or different things, I'm getting my hair done, then, you know, I'm venting to them too, right? So it's an interesting business to be in because we feel so close to our service providers. you know?
And that's in part because it's so intimate and it's the touch
Yeah.
and the space. And like, who was the last person who washed your hair? Like your hairdresser or probably your mom, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so
True.
I mean, like, but it brings back that kind of like very intimate, it mirrors that very intimate experience we would have had when we were little, ideally, if we,
Yeah.
had those experiences. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, like in the US, in some states, this is back in the day, I can't speak for immediately, but like some of their, in order to get your hairdressing license or your beauty professional license, they had to be trained on gender-based violence. They have to be trained on HIV. They have to be trained on sexual assault, because they're often the people who are getting the first information. Even they're getting trained on health issues and mental health issues.
Hmm.
During COVID, they were like activated. Barbers and hair beauty professionals were activated to be like community support liaisons,
Totally.
because that relationship is so tender, and people will, like, we know this, people will go get their haircut, but they might not go to their doctor. In which case it's really handy if your beauty professional can say to you, hey, you should go get that checked out.
Yeah, and I love that. I love the combination of being able to do both to serve their clients powerfully because, I think that should be for every every professional industry should have that training, to be honest. Anybody that's working with clients should have some form of training like what you offer.
Yeah. And that's why
And
I do trauma informed training across sectors. Like I
yeah.
train frontline workers, I train counselors and psychotherapists, I help train lawyers. Like, we need resourced people who are compassionate and understand that trauma impacts all of us and that difficulties happen to many of us, and that let's approach with the humanity and compassion, right?
I love that. Well, I wanted to say, thank you again for doing this interview. It's been amazing. I look forward to hearing more amazing stories from, members of our group that have gotten to work with you. And, that's the main reason why I wanted to do this interview is because we don't really have anybody with your skill set in the group, to help and to educate people on the trauma and the things, how to overcome them and whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life, there's somebody in our group that is there to support you. And I think that's really important that people start to really understand what the purpose of our network is about and aligning yourself with the people in the group to help you. And that's, that is the whole purpose of it. I'm so grateful to have people like you in my life because I didn't know that this existed. And I've gone through some serious trauma in the past, and I had to do a lot of work on myself. But I know that there's certain things that haven't been cleared from my energy yet. And I probably have to go do a whole bunch of more work on myself before I can complete this company. And it's an ongoing journey, right? It takes a long time to get clear on the things that have happened to you in your past and forgive yourself and forgive what happened and be able to move forward with your future. But, working with people like Chavisa, you have that opportunity and you have support. And that's the most important thing is you're not alone. You're not alone with what you're dealing with currently, and you're not alone with what you've dealt with in your past. We're here for you. And that's what I think is the most important about this message. And do you have any final words that you'd like to say? I'm also going to have you comment on the live video with all of your website and everything so people can reach you as well. And then I'll also put it up on our YouTube channel so people can find you there as well.
Oh, awesome. I guess my closing comments would be like, this is empowerment coaching, right? It's like extremely personalized to you. It takes you exactly where you're at and it helps you move forward in a good way. So that's in line with your ethics and values so that you can thrive. And my joy is watching people do really well in their lives. So I'd be happy to support, and feel free to reach out. Like I said, I offer a free consultation call.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much. And tune in for another Ask an Expert Friday. If you guys would like to have your interview done for Wellness Wednesday or Ask an Expert Friday, you know how to find me. Let's tune in next week and we'll hopefully have another guest speaker. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for having me.
Bye.